You won't believe this, but the sweetest kid on TV, the one everyone thought grew up in a perfect small-town paradise, quietly carried two major disappointments with him for decades. One happened when he was just a boy, the other when he was a seasoned director with an Oscar on his shelf. And both still sting. Ron Howard has spent over 60 years in the spotlight, and through it all he's built a reputation for being respectful, calm, and quietly brilliant. He's not the guy who makes enemies or sparks controversy. But even the nicest people reach their breaking point, and for Ron it started with a woman America thought he adored, Aunt Bee. Let's rewind. It's 1960. A little red-headed boy named Ronnie Howard becomes Opie Taylor on The Andy Griffith Show. For 8 seasons, he played the wide-eyed son of Sheriff Andy Taylor in a show that seemed like a love letter to small-town life. The characters were kind, the stories gentle, and the laughs clean. Mayberry was the kind of town where nobody locked their doors and neighbors dropped by with pie. It was warm. It was simple. And it felt real. But what felt real on screen wasn't always real behind it. Most of the cast became like family. Andy Griffith, Don Knotts, and even the crew formed a tight bond, joking around between takes, sharing meals, and creating that laid-back energy that fans could feel in every episode. But one person didn't join in. Frances Bavier, the actress who played Aunt Bee. To the public, she was the heart of the Taylor home, baking, fussing, and loving her boys. To Ron Howard, she was distant, cold, and honestly a little scary. He was just a kid and she treated him more like a coworker than a child. Never unkind exactly, but never warm. Never playful. One episode in particular left a lasting impression on Ron. It was called The Pickle Story, and in it, Opie has to eat Aunt Bee's famously awful homemade pickles. What fans didn't know was that Ron hated pickles in real life. He had to eat jar after jar of them during filming, all while sitting across from Bavier's stiff, humorless gaze. He was miserable. And he never forgot how that scene, which looked so sweet and funny, felt so cold and uncomfortable. He never spoke out at the time. He was a pro even as a child. But decades later, when asked about those days, Ron didn't sugarcoat it. The woman who played his loving Aunt Bee never gave him that affection off camera. And that disconnect stayed with him. But life moved on and so did Ron. After the Andy Griffith Show, he transitioned into another iconic role, Richie Cunningham on Happy Days. America watched him grow up on screen, but behind the scenes he was studying something else, directing. He watched every move directors made. He asked questions. He paid attention. In 1977, he got his shot behind the camera with a low-budget movie called Grand Theft Auto, which he co-wrote with his dad. It was loud, fast, and full of car crashes. But it marked the beginning of something much bigger. Ron Howard, the director, was officially born. What followed was a string of hits: Splash, Cocoon, Parenthood, and Apollo 13. Then came A Beautiful Mind, which won him the Academy Award for Best Director. But even that film came with controversy. Critics pointed out the parts of John Nash's life the movie left out, like his bisexuality and a child he fathered out of wedlock. Some accused Howard of sanitizing the story for awards. Ron didn't get defensive. He explained his vision. He wanted to focus on Nash's mental illness and his marriage, not deliver a full biography. But it did hurt him when people suggested the omissions meant he wasn't being truthful. He takes storytelling seriously. It's not just a job for him, it's a way to make sense of the world. And that's exactly why his second great disappointment hit so hard. So next time you rewatch The Andy Griffith Show or see Apollo 13 pop up in your streaming queue, remember the man behind it all. A kid who learned early that kindness isn't always returned, and an adult who chose to keep being kind anyway. Thanks for spending time with this story. If it moved you, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and leave a comment. Who was your favorite Andy Griffith Show character growing up? I'll see you in the next one.